Let's give our attention now to Brother Barilla, along with John Alla Sr., and he's going to be handling the return visit.
Hey, John, nice to see you again.
Hey, how you doing? Lawrence, right?
Yeah, that's right. You know, last time I was here, John, I was able to share a scripture with you at 2 Timothy that talked about the current world conditions we were living in. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do, and it really is bleak when you look around the world nowadays, especially with this last election. You can really see how the world is just not in a good shape.
Yeah, you know, I left you with that question, and even I asked you, can we trust that the prophecy about a better future can be fulfilled? You know, and like you said, there's many today that feel like there's just no hope for the near future, right?
Yeah.
But what can you and I do? Well, what you and I can do is we can look to past Bible prophecy to help us to see how future Bible prophecies will soon be fulfilled. You know, the first prophecy that comes to my mind is in Isaiah, the 44th chapter, verse 27. And that prophecy talked about Babylon the Great, Babylon. And what Babylon was, it was a city that was impenetrable at the time. It was surrounded by a moat. It had huge gates. And at that time, in Bible times, many people thought indestructible or couldn't be penetrated. Well, if we turn to that scripture at Isaiah, the 44th chapter, verse 27, I really want you to see that the prophet Isaiah foretold what would happen over 150 years prior to this being fulfilled. And when we read this, I really want you to focus not only on what happened, but how it happened, okay? So let's look at that scripture. It says, "The one saying to the deep waters, be evaporated, and I will dry up all your rivers. The one saying of Cyrus, he is my shepherd, and he will completely carry out all my will. The one saying of Jerusalem, she will be rebuilt, and of the temple, your foundation will be laid. This is what Jehovah says to his anointed one, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have taken hold of, to subdue nations before him, to disarm kings, to open before him the double doors so that the gates will not be shut. Before you I will go, and the hills I will level. The copper doors I will break in pieces, and the iron bars I will cut down." Now, this prophecy, once again, John, was written over 150 years prior to it being fulfilled. So, let's look at some of the details here. It gave us the name of who would destroy this city. What was his name?
Cyrus.
Okay, and remember that moat I talked about? What happened with the waters? It said that they would be evaporated or dried up, right? And those huge doors that were impenetrable, what happened with them?
They said they'd be opened.
They were left open. So, after reading this Bible prophecy that happened way long ago and seeing how it was fulfilled, what confidence can that give you and I?
Well, it gives you confidence when you think about what your future holds, or if anything, you know, if anything comes up, you can look back to these prophecies and be able to say, gee, maybe there is something good for us.
Exactly. It gives us hope for the near future, right? Confidence in the near future. And actually here, John, I have a book entitled, "What Does the Bible Really Teach?" And on here in chapter 3, it talks about what is God's purpose for the earth. This is your personal copy, okay? We've already talked about the current conditions we're living in. Now what I'd like to do is come back next week, or come back later on this week on Saturday, around this same time, and we can talk about the future blessings that you and I can enjoy in the near future on the current earth here. How's that sound?
Yeah, I really like that.
Okay, I'll see you then.